I'm Kelsey Riley, and I rode in this year's Mongol Derby to benefit the TRF's Second Chances program at the Blackburn Correctional Facility here in Lexington. We raised $15,000 to go directly to the program at Blackburn. When I went out there with the folks at Godolphin before I went for my ride, I mean, we really just got to see firsthand the difference that this program is making for ex-racehorses, for the prisoners that are in the program, and the local communities. So I just got back from my ride in the Mongol Derby, which is a 1,000 kilometer or 620 mile horse race across the steppes of Outer Mongolia. The race is on what they describe as semi-wild Mongolian horses. They are largely unchanged since the horses that Genghis Khan actually built the Mongol Empire with these horses, with his army. So that was about 800 years ago, and these horses have largely been unchanged since that time. They live the majority of the time just out on the land. Like there are no pastures there, there's certainly no barns, no fences. So they actually just roam the steppe. The Mongolians, I mean, horses are the most important part of their culture. They absolutely love their horses and are crazy about them. If you told a herder that you had a good experience on his horse and he had a good horse, that was just the best compliment he could get. I would say that there wasn't a lot about the whole experience that really surprised me, because I had spoken to a lot of past riders and heard so many stories that, that I knew all of these crazy things were going to happen. I knew I was going to be in so much pain. And I knew that mental toughness was going to be a big element to get through it. Like, I've never been even close to the amount of pain I was in out there. It just, so many long hours in the saddle, and your muscles are one thing, but my knees caused me a lot of problems. They were very, very sore, and I never thought I can't go on, but I just thought, wow, this is insanely difficult. Quitting it never crossed my mind. It was never an option. I just know that I would have been just filled with regret if I had got that far. And it's not even the race, it's the preparation for 10 months and everyone that was behind me and everything like that. It was absolutely never an option to quit. So, and the feeling when I got to the finish line fully justified that. Like, it was probably the greatest feeling of my life, getting to that finish line, and the feeling of accomplishment. It absolutely makes you feel like you can do anything.
So this morning I had to put my feet back into wet socks and sopping wet boots, and this is what my feet look like tonight. It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
For the most part, I was quite happy with my pack. I used just about everything. I think if I was to do the ride again, I would take fewer Band-Aids. Like, I had all these variety of fancy Band-Aids and all that kind of thing. And really, whenever I needed anything like that, I slapped duct tape over it. There were some things that, if I was to do it again, I definitely would add to the pack. So we slept in sleeping bags on the ground, essentially. Some of the stations had like a little thin pads or thicker blankets that you could lay down under your sleeping bag. Some people brought like these blow-up sleeping pads that would go under the sleeping bag, and I would definitely do that if I was to go again, because you think you can sleep on the ground and it's fine, but when your body is in that much pain, it's actually a lot more difficult. I would pack every remaining ounce or gram of my pack with that I had left over with good tasting snacks and calorie dense snacks. And then the other thing that I would have added to my pack is just like a mini iPod, one of those really tiny ones with a few just motivational songs on it to get through some of the tougher parts. I found myself singing some songs in my head, but I'm not a very good singer, so I'd stop after a little while. And I think to just be able to pop it in when you're feeling really, really low, and just blast a couple motivational tunes, I think that would have actually helped a lot. At the end of the day, the Mongol Derby was just the most fantastic experience of my life. Past riders that I spoke to going in said, a lot of them really said it's going to be both the best and worst thing you've ever done, and it really was from a pain perspective and everything else. It was absolutely the most difficult thing I've ever done, but it was overwhelmingly the most amazing thing I've ever done, the most incredible experience of my life. It was just incredible to be immersed in a culture that we consider to have nothing. They have very little in terms of material possessions. They live very simply, but they've been living this way for many, many years, and they're happy this way, and they're healthy. And to me, that was a really great example of seeing that less really is more, and that's something that I've really taken away from it. And yeah, it was a completely life-changing experience. I feel like I've come back just a completely different person in a good way, and I think anyone that has the opportunity to do this, really just go for it.